this week's review is director F. Gary Gray's Fast 8, starring Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson and Charlize Theron. Right, guys, so now it's synopsis time. When a mysterious woman seduces Dom into the world of terrorism and betrayal of those closest to him, the crew faces trials that would test them as never before. Dayle, there's a trailer there somewhere.
Always.
You know what I like about you, Dom? You're a genuine outlaw, but you're family.
A hell of a job, brother. When we get back to the base, beer's on me.
He's about to go up against the only thing they can't handle. You. Did you ever think you'd betray your family the way you did today?
Dominic Toretto just turned on us.
We are going to say this now because this is a spoiler warning. We are going to go through everything from start to finish.
Because we're going to rip it apart, because to be quite fair to you,
this rip it apart in a bad way. We're going to
it shouldn't have been at this stage.
Yeah, no, as we go, so it's a spoiler warning. Yeah. If you want to go watch it and not learn about the plot lines, then please go do so. But we're not going to ruin the film for you. I still say go watch it. That's absolutely fine. We'll explain reasons why. So let's continue with the story.
So basically, we get the bit where, you know, Dom's happy and everything like that. And we know that Dom's in a better place. So Charlize Theron then turns up and basically shows him something on her phone. He then goes, oh, and then we don't know what it is, and we're kind of all wondering what's happening.
Point number 2. So every time as Tony goes through the story, I'm going to pull in bits that I don't like. Yeah. So Charlize Theron, the way she talks to Dom is as if they've got a past, and Dom should know who she is. Yeah. And you find out that he doesn't. They dyed her eyebrows. Her eyebrows were made like, I was staring at her and I was like, this does not look like Charlize Theron. This does not look like her.
She looked like Angelina Jolie from Gone in 60 Seconds.
It looks really weird. Like they dyed her eye. Like you see it later on. Her eyebrows were a hell of a lot lighter, and they put some makeup on her so she doesn't look like Charlize Theron.
She looks weird, and she looks like she's had heavily. She looks like she's been in plastic surgery for the last month for this film.
This isn't Charlize Theron physically, because you know when that all comes off later on, you see that it is actually Charlize Theron. But this, like the way she looked, is like you would never think that was Charlize Theron unless you knew. No. And I didn't think it needed it because she the sky's no one knows. So here's the spoiler point because we've got to get to now. Charlize Theron is called Cypher. So for those of you who watch Fast 7, Cypher is this main hack. She is like the queen of everything.
Queen of hackers, she owns everything. Terrorism, cyber terrorism.
So I don't know. Like the only thing I can assume is she was trying to hide her face from God's eye, which was this massive satellite system that could pick everyone out. But then it turns out that she had a ways to loop around it, so she couldn't be found anyway. So there was no reason for her disguise.
And it's exactly the same as what happened last week. it's stuff that shouldn't have been there, and they kind of contradict themselves. It didn't need it. So basically, we went on. Dom then goes back home, and he's kind of a bit troubled with what he's seen on this phone, and then we kind of get into the Luke
Hobbs gets a call from the agent.
Gets a call, and he's got to do a job in Berlin, which basically he's got to try and basically get this EMP.
It's all under the radar. Like if they get caught, they're being arrested.
So basically, they do the mission, they do the heist, they get everything. The gang's all back together. Tyrese Gibson's back. I thought he was really funny in this and really light. You had Ludacris, obviously he was wicked. So it's the old crew. So they do everything. Then all of a sudden, Dom and Luke turn at a different corner and they say, we'll meet back at the base.
Dom turns on him, end of story, steals the EMP to go give to Charlize Theron's character, Cypher.
And The Rock's like, don't do it, you can stop it now before I hunt you down.
Rock's character gets arrested, the whole crew goes into hiding. And then Kurt Russell's character turns back up, so he's Mr. Nobody
with Clint Eastwood.
Eastwood's son, who is again Little Nobody. I think his nickname becomes.
Yeah, they have a nickname for him called Little Nobody. But to be quite fair to you, I mean, like I said, I've got my notes at hand.
He's got everything at hand.
I've got everything to hand. So basically, Scott Eastwood plays Little Nobody, but he has got an actual name. But obviously, in the IMDb as well,
the character's name gets called Little Nobody. Yeah. Anyway, so. Luke is now arrested, and they stage a breakout. Yeah. So Luke breaks out, and he's put in the cell next to Luke Shaw, who is Jason Statham's character. They both do a breakout. Kurt Russell's character comes up.
Scene, though.
Big fight, which is really good.
It's a real good fight scene.
Because like Rock was the big muscle powerhouse, and Jason Statham's character was like the free runner doing all this stuff. Anyway, they break out. Kurt Russell goes, that's a little bit slower than I thought, because he's set it up.
Yeah, basically.
Now you can tell that they've got little Mr. Nobody in because Kurt Russell was off filming Guardians of the Galaxy.
Exactly.
So Little Nobody, Clint Eastwood's kids. We're not just calling him Nobody because we don't know his name. That's what his actual nickname is. They set up this thing. They've got to find Dom. Dom breaks into the special facility while they're all there, steals God's eye, so that they can. The whole idea for Cypher is she wants to find a.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, the film. I'm thinking about it now. We've gone over that bit, and we're going over bit by bit. Leading up to that point, I was kind of okay.
Yeah.
I was kind of okay, and then I kind of think when everything turned was when basically we then find out why Dom is kind of
while he's under. We'll get to while he's under the collar. So basically, the whole idea, Cypher wants to get this Russian sub which has nukes on board, and she wants to become this whole villain. Now this is my issue, is when you found out her motives, it turned into a Mission Impossible kind of like James Bond movie. It was the villain with nuclear subs, it was the villain that was going to do this. Whereas in the original Fast and Furious, it was all about this triad, about racing, about people with grudges and stuff like that.
It was, and to be fair, you hit the nail on the head. It was about basic street racing with gangs. That's what I loved about it, and that's what I loved about what Cohen done. And this has basically turned into saving the world, Mission Impossible.
It's a super agent kind of thing.
It's like Triple X.
Yeah, it was like Triple X, and it kind of lost its way. So they do all these missions, bits and bobs, and you see that
it does lose its way because, like just Dayle just says, they go on so many separate little missions that you kind of get to a point, and you're like, can you please direct this film somewhere?
Stop making more about what Fast and Furious is.
You don't need to beef this film out any more than what you've done. We get the drift. So basically, what the drift is that Dom's got a child with the woman.
Right. So Liana, who Dom saw in Fast and Furious 4. Before he knew Letty was alive. He has a baby with her. So this is what annoyed me as well, is you don't actually know what's going on. So I thought, right, they've captured someone. So while they're on the plane, they show Elena and she goes, oh, here's your son. And all of a sudden, Dom now has a son that they're protecting. And you know, right, this is the death code. This character's going to die when someone says to someone else, take care of our son, Dom. Take care of us. You know she's going to die further on down the line. So Dom does all these missions. They end up killing Elena as motivation for Dom, and Dom basically goes and finds Luke Shaw's mum, who's played by Helen Mirren, who again they really wanted to make sure that Luke, so Jason Statham and Helen Mirren stayed out as Cockney English, Cockney British.
And to be quite fair, she was really good. Like, she made me chuckle. She was the good light-hearted moment in that whole film. And to be quite fair, Jason Statham was another one that kind of got me at points where I was just like, this is good to see some light-heartedness from you, but it's still really silly.
So they set up this whole ruse where it looks like Dom kills Jason Statham's character, and then Jason Statham's character and his brother, played by Luke Evans. God, there are all so many people called Luke. God damn it.
Luke Evans. Yeah, no, you're right.
They go on board this plane. So Cypher is flying above the world in this huge high-tech plane. So while Dom is doing the rest of the mission to get the nuke sub, Luke and his brother are getting on board this plane to steal the child and bring the plane down and stuff like this.
So you see,
and that's where Dom snaps back to reality.
So you see what we mean, guys. So it's kind of a case that it goes off into these little rabbit holes. Little tangents that really weren't needed. All right, we get there was a plan. Dom hatched a plan. Brilliant. And also the thing I didn't get, that I was kind of like, really, was the kind of, did he know the plan from the beginning? Because we did see him solder some stuff. And that his necklace did turn out to be a tracking device when he put the chain up onto the baby to be like, that's going to look after you. That, to me, I didn't like. And I wasn't interested in that whatsoever. I thought it was just a gimmick.
It was bits and bobs, wasn't it? It was like, let's give them an explanation because they're going to ask these questions. But they never answered some of the other questions.
They didn't. I mean, like we said, Helen Mirren was good. I mean, Luke, you know...
There was crazy... Look, what got me was there was crazy, unrealistic stunts. Like, there was two... So, the way Luke and his brother get on the plane is they have, like, these jetpacks. Like, these flying jetpacks, and they get on the board, and it's like, what? And then there's a part where Dom blows up a sub because he takes a giant drive... Like, he's getting chased by a heat-seeking missile and jumps over the sub.
The worst one that finished me, that absolutely finished me, and I was so glad that it was near the end, was when everything was blowing up and Dom literally had nothing around him. He was on his own, and all the cars shielded him from flames. Now, let's get this right. The flames were going over the top of him and everything. He would have been stuffed either way. I didn't like it. I thought, I get what you're trying to put. You're trying to say family sticks together and family always have each other's backs. But
This is the issue. It turned into a superhero
Too
Mission
far-fetched.
Impossible, James Bond, unrealistic kind of movie.
And it didn't need that. I mean,
no, it didn't.
Some of the shots were good. It's typical, but it was like a typical James Bond film. We're in Cuba,
what I mean.
so we've got a grand Cuba.
Yeah.
We're in Berlin, so we're in Berlin. Like it's like it was trying to be something it shouldn't have been.
It didn't need to be.
Going back to the first film, the original, like we just said. Basic car, car gangs, you know what I mean?
The amount of cars they went
Brilliant.
through.
And the cars were stupid.
They weren't built up, they weren't
Stupid.
like the original Fast and Furious. They weren't, here is like a Nissan Skyline that's been built up and modified. It was, here's a Lamborghini.
Here's a Lamborghini. And it was
here's
bright
this
orange
car
and
that's,
stuff like that.
we don't care about the technicals
No,
behind it.
no.
Here's just this car that looks awesome.
Exactly.
And here's this and here's that. And it just really didn't work.
I didn't like it. To be honest with you, this film, after watching the first one, I was kind of just going, no, enough's enough. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to squeeze the life out of this now, and they have squeezed the life out of this because Charlize Theron floats off into the night. So that's where.
So when Jason Statham's character is about to capture her or kill her or whatever, she jumps out of the plane, which means they are going to do more.
They are going to do more. So they are going to do more Fast and Furious. Apparently, like Dayle said before, if you rewind in this,
they're looking at doing about 10.
They're looking at about 10. So to be quite fair, if they do that, but I mean, it's a big franchise.
It's a massive franchise, and people are still going to go watch it.
It just needs to stop.
Me, 7 was a nice wrap up.
It was.
There was no loose ends. Like I didn't give a The explanation they gave in 7 was Cypher was this giant, wasn't an individual, it was a computer system they shut down. Fine, I didn't mind that.
Yeah.
But in 7, you've got to remember that Thingy took down a bloody helicopter with a machine gun, didn't it? Rotary gun. It got a bit more ridiculous as the franchise has gone on. And like I said, at about 5, you could probably say, right, end it there, we kind of know it. 7, I will allow, because it was like, the ending was perfect. Where Brian O'Connor... and think go 2 separate ways. That was it. That could have stopped there, and I would have been happy.
Man, and the cheese at the end as well.
This again. There was 2 parts in this film where they acknowledged that Paul Walker had passed, and they acknowledged that he hadn't. So in parts of the movie, they go. Tyrese Gibson's character goes. Brian would know what to do, and Michelle Rodriguez's character goes. No, we told him we're not going to get Brian involved. We're not going to get him involved.
Yeah.
Right, that's like, okay, you still acknowledge him that the character's still around, that's fine, didn't need it, but okay. And right at the end, Dom's kid hasn't been given a first name, he's only been given a second name, so I can't see if this is a good thing or not. I thought it was heavy cheese. He gives the baby's name, first name is called Brian.
Yeah.
Now, it's a little bit confusing because in the story they're acknowledging that he's still around, the character's still around and involved in the universe. And then at the end, they're kind of doing it as like a... We're calling the baby Brian as a symbolisation to Paul Walker.
But did you feel the ending, like when they're on that rooftop in New York, did you just feel like it was awkward, rushed, cheesy, just complete...
I felt it was their end of thing barbecue. They do it at the first one. They did it. They do it on the others. They always kind of like end it with a family barbecue to highlight the meaning of family.
So you know what we're going to do at the end of this review, guys. We're going to have a barbecue. Sorry.
I think the issue is, like I've said before,
it should have stopped.
If they wanted to keep it going, they shouldn't have changed it as much as this.
No.
Like they've changed it in okay ways. Like Rock versus Vin Diesel, excellent. A bit cool. And then it was like Rock versus Jason Statham. Okay, cool, but keep it realistic. Don't have The Rock picking up like a machine gun that's fallen off of the side of a army military ship and helicopter and start shooting stuff down.
Apache, wasn't it?
Like,
to be quite fair,
keep it as realistic as you can.
This film to me at the moment is just basically keeping actors in jobs. That's it.
It's put nail on the head. They've turned a car movie into a spy movie.
To be quite fair, I get that, and I'm on board with totally that. I didn't enjoy the film. I enjoyed some of the cinematography because it did remind me of Bond, and I think Bond does find some absolutely gorgeous places, and they did find some gorgeous places.
Like, the ice, I'll give you
in patches.
The Russian ice kind of like thing at the end was pretty cool.
That was cool.
But I've got 2 minds about it. As a franchise movie, no. I didn't like it because it didn't contain the Fast and Furious kind of element I've seen.
It didn't have a vibe.
As a standalone movie, like if this was like action movie, a bit of a spy movie, and I didn't have the expectations of what I wanted it to be as a fast movie, I would have accepted it. Like I thought, because there was ludicrous stunts in it and stuff that was crazy. Because if it was a standalone film, I would have been like, yeah, okay, you can have that.
Yeah,
Because
you can have it,
I don't know the world you're living in. But because I've gone through 7 movies with the world you've lived in, it's kind of made me go, you're just getting crazy. Like your stunts.
You're going too much.
Are more unrealistic as you go along.
It's way out of proportion. You do know after 10 we're going to get a 5-year gap, and they will reboot this in some way, shape, or form. And I'm hoping when you do reboot this Universal, you go down that route of just keeping it car gangs, cars, undercover police. And just keep it so basic that and so dark and gritty that everyone's going to be like
I don't mind it changing.
Like, yeah, but I know it's got. Don't be so far.
No, I know it's got to change with the times, but you've got to look. But like,
it's got to change with the times.
No, they've got to be realistic with what they do, because obviously in 7 they jumped a sports car through 2 buildings in Dubai. That was madness. Like that's not realistic.
No.
In this one, we've already said what they do. The one where they drag safes, what was it, number 4 or 5, where they drag safes through the building. That was kind of like the byline. That was kind of like, right, maybe I can see this happening. Like, maybe.
If someone's really got the balls to do it. Fair enough. But
all the other stuff was kind of like, no.
Now, I mean, this film, I'm not down with at all. I watched it. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't involved. Okay. I think what spoiled it for me, and like I said before, it didn't spoil it, but it kind of made me realise what the foundations of this franchise was when I watched the first one, and then seeing what it is today. And I was kind of sitting there going, no. So for me, character-wise, I do love all the characters. I mean, like I said, Tyrese Gibson, I thought he was brilliant in little places. Like he had his little quips and his little kind of funny moments. But that's really all you see of Tyrese Gibson. Apart from the end when he had his moment in the sun where he took out about 4 or 5 people with a handgun, and you kind of were like, well,
the first part he got serious, yeah. He was just he was the comic relief throughout the entire point, and there were some points where I was like, not really appropriate.
No, it's not. Now. No. But I mean, I think we've covered most. Yeah. I mean, to be quite fair, I'm happy with where we've left it. Like I said,
I do want to say this one as well, because this was ridiculous.
Go.
So Cypher hacks 1,000 cars in New York, right? Puts them all into self-drive mode.
You just reminded me.
Puts them all on self-drive mode. So all you see, right, is you see 1,000 cars chasing after this Russian president.
It's like a zombie horde from what was it, World War Z?
World War Z, but with cars.
And
all these cars have been hacked, and so now apparently you can hack cars and drive them yourself. And it just causes 1,000 car pile up, which stops this motorcade, which has this right. So this is how they get the nuclear. They call it a football.
Yeah, that's it. Like a launch code.
It's launch codes and a launch suitcase. So basically, they start sending like cars out the top of the building to crash in front of them and behind them, and then they have 1,000 car pile up so that Vin Diesel can go and rob this case.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what?
I know. I was like you, Dayle. I was looking at the screen, but like I said to you, I'm connecting it from the foundations to what it is today.
Yeah.
And I would much prefer a gritty, darker, basic, like I said, undercover cop, car gang film. Like you could do so much from watching the first. You could do so much with it, apart from taking it to that point where they're saving the world and stopping terrorists.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a spy movie or anything like that.
You can't see anyone from anything.
Okay,
let's stop.
Let's wrap it up.
Right, wrapping it up. I'm going to go first. I didn't enjoy this film. I thought the actors were okay on par. It's what I've seen before from maybe the last 3 Fast and Furious films. Looking at the foundations, as I keep saying, it should have been a lot more better than what it should be today. The CGI with it and stuff like that, and the stunts and stuff like that, it was just getting on my nerves the way it just went from one extreme to the next. The only kind of thing I really did enjoy throughout the whole of the film was kind of the part when they had the fighting sequence, which I really did love, that fight sequence.
In the jail.
And in the jail. I thought that was really good and well thought through. Everything else around that, to be quite fair, is what I've seen before. So for me, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10.
Ooh, okay. Fair. I as a franchise, no, I said this before, the stunts were just crazy and absolutely impractical, but I quite like, there was some bits that I quite liked. There was bits that didn't make sense, like this whole, so I was like, what have you shown Dom? Oh my god, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, Dom's got a kid.
Dom's got
Let's drop this that we've never seen before. I thought Charlize Theron played a very good villain. I thought she was pretty good. But yeah, I don't think anyone was outstanding. I don't think anyone was miraculous or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a happy 5, but be more than happy to join you. What are you doing?
I've got cramp in my foot, son.
I
know.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
anyway, I'm gonna hop around like a madman.
We're gonna give it. Yeah, we're gonna give Fast and Furious 8 a 4 out of 10. I think it's, you know, I would have pushed it to 5, but I think Tony's on a solid 4.
I'm on a solid 4 because, like I've said, from what I've seen before and where the foundations it's come from to where it is today, that's everything, guys. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to keep saying it because people are like, Tony, repeating yourself.
So Tony's giving it a solid 4. I'm giving it a solid 5, but we're happy to meet. I'm happy to come down to a 4.
Oh, yeah.
So Fast 8, 4
out of 10. So, guys, here on the Weekend Buzz, we're going to give it a solid 4 out of 10 with cramp in my foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next week's movie review is the Belko Experiment, which we hope will be a hell of a lot better and a bit of an under the radar kind of movie. So we'll let you know our thoughts on that on next week's episode.
Exactly. So basically, last week we had a competition, didn't we, Dayle?
Of course we did.
That last week competition, tell me about it, Dayle.
So we were giving away a limited edition. So again, from our friends at Limited Edition Comix, again 10% discount code is Fast82017. Put that all in capitals.
10%.
Put that all in capitals in the coupon section. Get 10% off.
Coupon.
Right. So last week you could have won a very, very limited edition Venom issue 1 cover. And the question was, Ryan Reynolds plays the Merc with a Mouth, aka who? And the answer was Deadpool.
Woo, Deadpool. Well, and remember, guys, if you want some Deadpool news, go back to our Buzz News and you can catch that there. So, Dayle, who is the winner of that beautiful comic this week?
That beautiful issue 1 Venom.
Issue number 1 Venom. Who have we got lined up this week? Dayle.
Small drum roll moment, please. Sorry, I'll put the sound effects, Tony. You don't have to do anything.
Alright. I'll just go like that.
So the winner, congratulations to Andrew McVeigh.
Andrew
McVeigh, well done.
Andrew McVeigh, you've won that, sir. That's going to come straight to you. Don't worry about that. Everything is going to be in the post this week.
Right. So now let's get on to this week. Yeah, don't worry about it, John. We do have your Red Ranger right here. We've got it. Look, he's got it.
Throw it down.
He's right here. He's right here.
So yeah, look, we've got your Red Ranger, my man. Don't worry about it. We've got it here.
He's coming down. Look, pop protector and all.
Pop protector.
He'll be coming to you. Don't worry. Tony's going to deliver it to himself. Yep. Right. So this week's competition, very, very simple. Tony, what have we got for him?
We've got basically Marvel Champions #1.
So because of the Hulk news this week with 4 as well, this is again a variant cover of Legacy Edition from Limited Edition Comix of Champions. So it's a very, very good comic. It's all about a smaller team like the Avengers, but of a much younger group coming together to help stop the world.
It is
the world of crime. It's very, very simple. So all you have to do to win this is simply subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like our Facebook page, very, very easy on both of those. Like Limited Edition Comix Facebook page and answer this very, very, very easy question.
Go Dayle.
So,
Dale's got a question.
Dale's got a question. All on Dayle.
No, you said the question. I was like, wow, that's wicked. I like that.
No, you weren't. You were like, cool. I don't have to think of one now, don't I?
No, it was basically Triple X related. Which
wow. Why don't you just give him the blooming answer while you're at it? Right. So Vin Diesel plays Xander Cage. Oh my god, I can't believe you just anyway.
No.
Vin Diesel plays Xander Cage, a extreme sports spy. In what movie? So what is he franchised as? So what is his code name? What is his nickname? So Vin Diesel plays Xander Cage in which movie franchise? Also known as what? Our movie review of next week will be the Belko Experiment, which it was from James Gunn as well. So he is going to have 2 weeks on the bounce because after that he's gone into the Galaxy 2. Oh my god, baby!
Are we going to do back to back?
We're doing the back-to-back midnight show, so we're going to go watch the first one and the second one back to back because we can't get enough of Groot.
IMAX.
Oh, it'll be IMAX. There's no.
You reckon?
Yeah, IMAX. So very, very simple. Like this week's question again for all you at home is: Vin Diesel plays Xander Cage. In which movie franchise? Simple, very, very easy. It's 3 letters, and there will be a clue. So you know, if you don't get that right, you are out of here.
You're gone. So
right.
I think that's it, guys. We've had a great movie review. We've had good news. We've had a good rewind. So, guys, that's where we're going to leave you. We're not going to spoil you. We're going to go on to next week, which is the Belko Experiment. I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. My name's been Tony.
I've been Dayle.
And thank you for watching the Weekend Buzz. See you all next week.